To match number 2, we go now over in Copa America with the likes of the USA and Colombia stepping closer to, of course, the knockout stages. Brazil got it all to do in match number 2. We're going to get into it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is match number 2, part 2, where we take a little look at groups C and D in this year's Copa America, with, of course, the likes of Brazil. Got lots of work to do as they choked on opening day. Will they bounce back in the second games? We'll get into all of that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, where the hell have you been? Stop what you're doing. Swallow what you're chewing. Smash that subscribe, boys and girls. Your one-stop shop for Copa America is right here under one roof ski. Now, we've already done match number 2, part 1, which, of course, includes Group A and B, with, of course, Canada, Argentina, Mexico, of course. But now it's the back end of the draw where we take a look at Group C and D. So let's familiar ourselves with the last round of games. That's right, over in the Copa America, as we recap these past matches, my predictions, and then, of course, your predictions to see how you got on in the prediction league. So here we go, recapping the results from Groups C and D. We start with the USA. Over the 2-0 win myself. They did open up with a 2-0 win as well against Bolivia. Meanwhile, Uruguay, I won with a 3-1 win over Panama. Guess what, guys? It was a 3-1 win over Panama. Goodness gracious me. Meanwhile, over into Group D, Colombia against Paraguay. I won with a 1-0 win, but it actually was a 2-1 win, so ain't too shabby on that one. And then, of course, completed the pack. The surprise of the whole round here was I went with a Brazil 3-0 win over Costa Rica, but guess what? It was a 0-0 draw. Goodness gracious me. Very much anticlimactic for Brazil, but my picks ain't too shabby indeed, of course. So how, of course, did I fare in this, which is, of course, our prediction league? Well, it is live. It is wide open. It is 100% free. You can still join. It's not too late to get involved. But let's take a little look at the situation over in the table right here, right now. And now, of course, we've just completed match day number 1. And currently, as you see, I'm doing all right there, guys. I'm absolutely doing fucking fantastic. I am top bins. There's only 7 of us. Hey, it's, small party right now. You can still get involved, still 100% free. But right now, I am leading the charge. I am flexing my prediction muscles because I'm pretty dang good. We're going to zoom in on that sucker. Look at it. Look at it, betting guru. I'm ahead of you, brother. I'm ahead of you. Look at it, Anchiles Xantis. I'm ahead of you. I'm ahead of you, brother. Look at it, Moulton. Look at it, Hans Worst. Look at it, Anduadu. Look at it, Vinny Hong. You got the wooden spoon. Not me, though. Not bloody me. Absolutely fantastic start. It is early days, but if you want to get part of it, be a part of the party, still get involved with the link right here, right now. So let's get there, of course, get cracking with the second round of games. And, of course, we're going to hop on over to Group C. That's right. It is as we'd expect, I think, at the moment, with Uruguay and USA dominating. But, of course, USA will now take on their fellow CONCACAF nation, Panama, in this one. So let's hop on over and have a look at this game then. Coming at you on Thursday, the 27th of June. It'll be Panama. It'll be USA at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's right, Panama. 42% form for them at the moment. Back-to-back defeats heading into this. Of course, up against the USA side on 58% form for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. Now, these two sides have played each other 25 times since 2004. We have 4 wins for Panama, 17 wins for the USA, and there's been 4 draws between the two sides. The most recent match between them was a penalty shootout victory for Panama. That's right, back in the CONCACAF Gold Cup knockout stage, back in the semi-finals back in July 2023. Less than a year ago, Panama came out on top for penalties. There is no penalties in this round, but of course, you never know in the later rounds. USA did boast a 5-1 win back in the World Cup qualification CONCACAF third round back in March 2022. So they comfortably outperformed them in regulation time. In fact, they've scored 11 goals against them in regulation time in back-to-back matches in the US of A. Meanwhile, of course, coming into this one, the odds right now, 7-1 is your Panama, 50-19 on is your USA. The draw is at 15-4. Of course, I'm going to back the Americans on this one. They look good against Bolivia without being great. I think up against the fellow CONCACAF nation, they'll also play for the crowds, of course, get them on their side and rally them for the final match against Uruguay. And goal difference is going to be massive for the placement here. I think if you win this group, you've got a good chance to make that semi-final spot, or at least maybe even challenge for the final. So I'm backing the USA to get the goals. get over the line and secure their deal in Group C. And a win should do it, I think, because it will leave them on 6 points. And depending on the result here in Uruguay against Bolivia, boom, 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 they could already be through. So let's get into it then, shall we? Now, these two sides, Uruguay against Bolivia, will also meet on the 27th of June at the MetLife Stadium. That's right, Uruguay with Bielsa ball, Bolivia with Zago ball. I've played each other 14 times since 1950. We have 10 wins for Uruguay, 2 for Bolivia, and there's been 2 draws. Of course, Uruguay boasts an 8-0 victory against Bolivia. When that was, I have no idea. As for Bolivia, they, of course, their record scoreline against Uruguay was just a 3-0 win. But coming into this, Uruguay under Bielsa, 67% form for them at the moment, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Meanwhile, Bolivia, 5 defeats in the last 6. 4 defeats in the row, 17% form for them heading into this one. The most recent match between these two sides was a 3-0 win for Uruguay back in November 2023. However, Bolivia did pick up one of their 2 victories against Uruguay in the last 2 matches. It was the last match they played on Bolivian soil back in November 2021. It was also that record scoreline of 3-0. Goodness gracious me, so it wasn't that long ago. Coming at you though, the odds here for Uruguay, 7-1 on for the victory. They are red hot favourites. 16-1 is the Bolivians here. 7-1 is also the draw, of course. Got to back Uruguay here. They look good, and right now they are my dark horses to challenge Argentina at the moment for the title. So I'm going to back Uruguay 2-0 win, and that mathematical situation will put both the USA and Uruguay through to the last 8 with a game to spare, but top billing still on the offering, so I don't think anyone's going to take their foot off the gas in match number 3. So come back for that one whenever we do those. So let's take a look then over in Group D, and it is a bit of a spicy situation for Brazil. We'll get to those in a minute. We're going to take a look at Colombia against Costa Rica. Both nations coming into this unbeaten so far. Colombia with the better, following on that result against Paraguay. Now, these two sides will take place against each other at State Farm Stadium on the 28th of June. Colombia with Lorenzo in the dugout, Costa Rica with Alfalfo also in the dugout. Both Argentinian by nationality, but these two nations coming into this with similar kind of form, but Colombia right now hot to bloody trot, 100% form for them right now, and according to my data, have a winning streak of 9 games in a row, unbeaten in the last 24. Can you confirm? 100% form over the last 6. Costa Rica though, 67% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. And that was, of course, way back when. They have played each other 5 times since 2004, just 1 win for Costa Rica, 4 for Colombia, and with the most recent match being a 3-1 win for Colombia back in October 2018. The bookies for this one, 11-4 on is your Colombia. They're red hot favourites. 4-1 is the draw. 8-1 is your Costa Rica, despite picking up a cheeky point against Brazil. No one would imagine that. But can we imagine them getting anything against Colombia? On me, I don't think so. I think Colombia are, again, just like Uruguay, going under the radar somewhat. You know, your Brazilians, you know, your Argentinians are going to be there or thereabouts. So right now, I'm putting Colombia in amongst 5 nations that I think will compete realistically for that final spot. We got Argentina, and then it's one of either Colombia, Uruguay, USA, and Brazil. One of those 4 will be in the final, you would imagine. Anyway, going to go with a 2-1 win for Colombia here. Job done. 6 points should be enough. We'll confirm that in 1 second, of course, as we take a little look at Paraguay against Brazil. That's right. Also, same day, 28th of June, it is Paraguay, it is Brazil. Now, this match will take place at the Allegiant Stadium with Daniel Garnero, the Paraguayan manager, up against Dorival of Brazil. Now, they have played each other 13 times since 2004, just 4 wins for Paraguay, 6 wins for Brazil, 3 draws so far. Paraguay, just 1 win in the last 6 matches, 33% form for them right now. Just 1 win in 4 for the Brazilians. They are drawing quite a lot of games, on 58% form for them over the last 6. The most recent match between these two sides was a 4-0 win for Brazil back in February 2022. That was in the round of a qualification match for the last World Cup for Qatar. The most recent win for Paraguay in regulation time. We're going to have to roll the years, but they did actually beat Brazil in the Copa America quarterfinal stage back in June 2015. But I'm trying to see a last regulation victory, or actually in normal time. They did actually pick up a win in July 2011. That was, of course, Rocky Santa Cruz years. 2-0 win after penalties or extra time as well. They did pick a regulation victory. There we go. World Cup qualification match back in June 2008. The bookies for this one, though, 8-1 is your Paraguay. They're not expected to get it here. 11-4 on is your Brazil, and 4-1 is the draw. Brazil need a result here, guys. They need a result. There's lots of discontent. It's got a very England vibe right now to the Brazilian side, where they're flattering to deceive. They're complaining about the coach. They're complaining about performance levels. Same could be said for Brazil right now, and I think they need a result to get them back on track, because right now, after that whimpering result against Costa Rica has me doubting Brazil seriously as a powerhouse in this current day and age, and that should not be associated with Brazil at all. I'm going to go with a victory for Brazil, 2-0 win, back in the mixer, still unbeaten, of course, and they will be in contention to be top 2 and possibly still top the group with the final games, of course. So that, of course, completes my my selection box there, and a quick recap of my selection box. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for the USA over Panama. We've got a 2-0 win for Uruguay over Bolivia. We have a 2-1 win for Costa Rica over, for Colombia over Costa Rica, and a 2-0 win for Brazil over Paraguay. Don't forget, of course, the Prediction League is free. Get amongst it, get your name in lights. It is there for all your glory. And of course, we'll be back for match number 3, part 1 and part 2, whenever those games are done and dusted. But at this point, it's still up for grabs for anybody over in the Copa America. Can Brazil bounce back? We'll, of course, find out whenever the results come in. But until then, subscribe, smash like. See you later. But until then, guys and girls, we are done. So.